Welcome back to the Right Wave Audio community. My name is John and I'm back for a quick update on the Apple TV 4K 2021 that we opened up last Friday. And I wanted to give you some quick updates on what I think is the top hits and potential miss with the Apple TV 4K. When it comes to hits, certainly the video experience. The way this thing streams, this thing has plenty of horsepower with its A12 chip with 64-bit architecture, 64 gigabytes of RAM in the model that we got, or it could be 32, which I think would probably be just as sufficient. But when you also think about the other capabilities this hardware has, this is an HDMI 2.1 capable device. It is using the latest Wi-Fi 6. So if you're not going to be wiring this in to Ethernet, it's using Wi-Fi 6, can simultaneously do 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz on the speed. But if you do wire this in, it's gigabit Ethernet to this device. It's for Bluetooth connectivity. It's got Bluetooth 5.0 wireless technology. It has capability of talking to home devices with the Thread protocol. It has an infrared receiver, and we think of all this built into the hardware. This is likely to serve for many years and serve at a good performance level. And you have that comfort that it's using all the latest technology. It has, of course, the video formats are right up to snuff as well. And that helps with the playback because most of the streaming services today, so where you're talking Hulu, YouTube, Sling, Amazon Prime, and Apple TV, they all support 4K today with HDR formats. Now, granted, this doesn't have some of the HDR formats like HDR10+, but it should serve most of the community pretty well, and will do so up to 60 frames per second currently. But it probably is upgradable to 8K, so we're waiting to see if that happens in the future. On the positive side, you have Airplay. And this just makes such a great experience if you're in the Apple ecosystem. Now, if you're in the Amazon ecosystem or the Google, then maybe the Fire TV is better for you if you're using Amazon Alexa, or if you are using the Google ecosystem, maybe Chromecast is the way to go. But here in this house, in the Right Wave Audio house, we're using Apple products. We're using their iMac. We're using the iPad. We're using the phones. And for those devices, just to transmit to the Apple TV, and those can go out to wirelessly as well, although that wouldn't be our preference. But it can go to speakers and sound bars and receivers through the Airplay signal as well. But it's just a great ecosystem. And as we mentioned, the AirPods are through Bluetooth. It's not through Airplay with that system. Another neat thing that we like about the new Apple TV is just being able to switch between apps has been so great. And a feature I just learned, if you double click on the display button, you can get between all your apps that are already launched and just quickly launch them. So that is really cool. When we switched from the original Apple TV, second generation, to Amazon Fire Sticks, it was because services like Amazon Prime Video weren't available at the time through Apple TV. Well, now they are. And in fact, I actually enjoy the Amazon Prime experience through Apple TV a lot better than through a Fire Stick. There's all this advertisement that comes up to be, I find, clutter that I have to navigate through. And it's much simplified. I find it a lot easier to navigate to the shows I want to see through the Apple TV than with a Fire Stick, even though it's the Prime service. The audio formats is where we start to have a little concern about, will this be good enough for our music listening? And it's certainly good on the audio side for movie watching. It has Dolby Atmos support. It will output to the multi-channel stereo through the HDMI port. And so that is good news. But if we were to sit down and listen to music through a music streaming service, and we take a look at what Apple has just announced with their own streaming service, and that is they're going from what they have today with the Apple Digital Master at 256 kilobits per second AAC. So it's a lossy format. So the Apple community has been waiting for a long time for lossless support with Apple Music. Well, they just announced that in June, they're going to be moving to supporting lossless. And by the end of the year, that's going to have the capability of 75 million tracks available. And this will be available at 16 to 24-bit 44.1, which is CD quality, up to 48 kilohertz. Now you're thinking that does not compete with some of the high-res formats out there from Tidal and Qobuz and Amazon Music to that extent as well. But they also have announced a high-res version of this. But this is not releasing in June with the standard format that they have, the standard lossless format. So the high-res lossless is to be announced when that's coming. But when it does, it will be 24-bit up to 192 kilohertz. Now, whether it's the high-res or the standard res lossless, this will be using the Apple ALAC format. So this will be available through their music service at $10 a month. I don't know if the $10 a month is going to also include the high-res, but if they are to follow suit with Amazon, now Amazon instantly reacted with their own service. They've taken their high-res, which was $20 a month to Amazon subscribers, and at the same day Apple's announced this service, dropped that monthly fee down to $10 a month. Now, each one of these high-res music services, so it's Apple now, Tidal, Amazon Music, Deezer, and Qobuz, they all claim to have 70 million plus tracks available. But it's a little unclear looking at each one how many of those 70 millions are actually the high res. And I think the group, the service that can claim this the most clearly is Qobuz, that says all of our high res files are at least 24-bit 192. So that is very good, up to 192 kilohertz, but they're all high res on Qobuz for their $15 a month service. Now, Apple is the only one that uses ALAC format. The rest of them are using FLAC for their high res. And we see monthly subscriptions ranging between $10 and $20 a month, with Amazon and Apple setting the low bar for the monthly service. And it will be interesting. This seems to be the year of high-res streaming, and Spotify is to join in next. So it will be interesting if we use the Apple TV for our high-res streaming needs. And if we look at this more closely, we see that we can get it through the Apple TV. So maybe this isn't a question mark. Apple says the high-res format is going to be available through the HDMI port, and that when that becomes available. Now, the bad news is if you have bought into the Apple AirPods, and particularly the AirPod Max, which is their expensive headphones, those use Bluetooth connection, and Apple is using an AAC lossy connection for those. So you will not be able to get you won't be able to get the lossless signals to those AirPods. So that is the loss there. But if you are into high-res music, you're probably not using the AirPods anyways. And using HDMI to your AV receiver or processor should give you that experience. So it's not going to be available with the June release, so we're looking forward to see what will happen when the high-res formats actually hit the market and how many files will actually support the high-res streaming, lossless streaming that Apple Music is bringing. So there you have it. That's our update on what we liked and what we're concerned about with the Apple TV. But this is really positive. In fact, I think we're going to get a few more of these for the other televisions in our set, replace more of the Fire TV. I like it so much. So with that said, I'd love to hear your feedback on Apple TV 4K. Are you going to get these? Are you replacing Amazon Fire TV's sticks as we are? That feedback would be useful to the Ripewave audio community. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe to this Ripewave audio community and be sure to hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when the next video is posted. Until then, keep evolving your audio experience.